Welcome back everybody to another video from EICMA in Milan, the biggest and best motorcycle show in the world, and this time we're at Royal Enfield for a good look at this, the Bear 650. A fantastic looking bike. We've seen some photos of it over the past couple of weeks, but this is my first time to see it in the flesh and have a good sit on it and a good poke around, and so here we go with absolutely everything that you need to know about it. Now, being part of the 650 lineup, there's no huge surprise here that it gets their 650 parallel twin. It's air-cooled, it's old school, it feels great, it's got that 270-degree crank for that lovely sound and feel and character. And look, it's not the most powerful engine on the market. It's 47 horsepower peak. It makes about 55-ish Newton meters of peak torque. But if you're looking for a bike that's got plenty of that old school soul and you're not really looking to go super fast, then this is perfect, this engine, for those Sunday countryside rides where you're just enjoying taking in the scenery as much as you are enjoying riding the bike. So naturally, this bike has got plenty in common with the Interceptor 650. It's a pretty similar bike. That's more of a road-focused upright retro, but this has just got a bit more of a scrambler spec, and while it's probably not a proper serious off-roader, it's just got a little bit of that gravel and light trails ability. I think also probably a lot of it's for the looks. So yeah, there's a bit more travel in the fork, and also you've got these chunky looking upside down forks as opposed to the right way up forks on the Interceptor, and you've got 130 mil of travel on the fork, and then twin shocks out the back which are preload adjustable, and those get 115 mil of travel. Again, you've got the 19-inch wheel up front which gives it more of that old school look, although this time they get the semi-off-road inspired semi-knobbly tyres, and while they look a bit like Pirelli Scorpion Rally STRs, I think they're actually a different brand. They're called MRF, not one I'm familiar with. I'm not sure if they're any good, but certainly the aesthetics and the performance, which is sort of very lightly off-road biased, probably suits the bike well. As for the braking, well, it's a two-pot bi-brake caliper up front on a nice big 320mm disc, a single-pot caliper at the rear on a 270mm disc, and so that's, you know, not the sportiest brakes, probably not the most powerful, but appropriately spec'd, I'd say, for this kind of bike. Now, with that extra bit of height in the stance, that does lift the seat height a little, so this one sits at 830mm, I believe, which is the tallest bike in the 650 lineup. But with a scrambler style bike, I think one of the appeals is the aesthetics and a little bit of the performance, but also that kind of spacious ergonomic. And so yeah, if you've tried an Interceptor 650, but maybe you're a little bit on the tall side and found it a little bit small, then maybe this is a good one to look at. Foot pegs are chunky and off-road looking. They've got a bit of grip around the edge, and you've got removable rubbers, so leave them in on the road to keep the vibes down, take them out for off-road to get more grip. And then the handlebars are like a braced scrambler style bar that's nice and wide, sits up high, and so again that plays into this roomy ergonomic, which is actually really comfortable in a lot of cases for just road riding anyway. For me, at about 5'9" or 175 centimeters, it's a really comfy bike, and it does feel that little bit more substantial than the Interceptor 650, so that's definitely a big plus of this particular bike. Thing is though, there's another major change from some of the other 650 bikes, and that's in the cockpit with this new Tripper dash, which you might be familiar with if you've seen some of the 450 bikes, like the new liquid-cooled Himalayan and the Gorilla 450, which is a road-going equivalent. Basically, you've got this nice old-school looking round form factor. You know, physically it looks like a relatively traditional clock, but then actually inside you've got a TFT display, full color, and it's got all of the functionality that you'd expect from a modern bike. So different layouts, it's got a night mode and a day mode, and also connectivity, so you can hook it up with the Enfield app and get turn-by-turn nav through the dash, and you've got a little joystick on the left-hand switchgear here to control it all. For me, I think it's pretty good. If you want something that's fully integrated like this, it's nice and clean. And so another bonus of this particular Bear 650. I will say though, if you want the full functionality of your phone, then you can't beat mounting it on your bars, and for that we'd always recommend our channel sponsors who've made this trip possible, and that's Quadlock. Back home we fit Quadlock mounts to all the bikes that we review, so we use their Handlebar Mount Pro, their vibration dampener, their wireless charging head, and they're super well made, super reliable, and it makes it super easy to get your phone on the bars and use all your favorite apps for navigating and media and stuff like that. On top of that, they've got a big ecosystem of other products for other activities like running or cycling or maritime or aviation. They've got pretty much everything covered. And also some other nice little accessories like this tripod cum selfie stick, which we've been using to capture loads of our social content for Instagram and stuff like that. So do check out the link down in the description below, and once again a massive thanks to Quadlock for making our EICMA coverage possible. Now another thing I'm really liking about this bike though is the looks. I think it's now the best looking 650 bike that Enfield make, and that's partly because of that rugged aesthetic with the chunkier fork and the knobbly tyres and the big scrambler bars, but also I think they've come up with a really nice bunch of paint jobs which go from a black bike that we got over here to the green one I was sitting on before. And if you want something a bit more lively, then you've got this white with the checkered flag graphics and then also this like mint green frame. So this one's quite punchy looking, I'd say, and there's something really for everyone. You've also got the number boards on the side, which are of course a bit of a trademark of the scrambler genre. You've got a 2-in-1 exhaust system that comes up at the side with a bit of a rugged looking heat shield, and I think they've also flicked up the subframe, which again is another little scrambler touch. The black bike as well is quite heavily accessorized, so you can get a fly screen, a headlight guard, a radiator guard. There's a brown sort of tuck and roll style seat and some luggage options, and so there is a little bit of flexibility in terms of what you want your bike to look like. Now look, impressively, looking at the prices, I was expecting this bike to be quite a lot more than an Interceptor, for example, because of the extra spec, because of that fancier dash, but really there's not a great deal in it. The Interceptor starts at about 6.5, and I think for the base colour on this it's 6,749, the next one 6,849, and the top dog in terms of finish, which I think might be the black and silver one, is 6,949. That means you're only paying an extra 100 or 200 or 300 quid really for better suspension, those grippy foot pegs, the nice wide bars with the brace, a lovely finish on these bikes, and then potentially if you want, you know, phone connectivity and stuff like that. So look, let's go for some quick Bob scores. We're going to give it 2 stars out of 5 for performance. It's not necessarily a particularly fast bike, but you do get better suspension now. You've got a brilliant engine as well, and I'll go 2 out of 5 as well for features and tech because of that new Tripper dash, which I think really elevates it above something like the Interceptor with the twin analog clocks. Looks wise, I'm definitely saying 5 out of 5. I've said it before, but this is now for me the most appealing visually 650 Enfield that you can buy. And then price, you've got to say, for what you're getting, just to pay a fairly modest amount more, it's got to be 5 stars as well. That makes it 14. So well done Enfield. I think this looks like a fantastic bike. As always though, I'd love to know what you think of it, so let me know down in the comments below. And also we got our playlist on the screen now where you can see all of our videos from EICMA as well as how we scored some of the other bikes, and we'll be constantly adding to it throughout the week, so do have a look. Hit subscribe as well if you want to see all of the videos as soon as they go live. A massive thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you in the next video.